everyone, welcome to game number 4, the final of the Bognor Bash. Yeah, Dwarves versus Dread Elves. Didn't expect to be up here. I'll be honest with you, I thought my list was okay going into this, but yeah, didn't expect to be fighting for the championship. So let's get to the lists. Mine first. You know what? I'm not even going to bother going through it because I'm sure. Look, just watch the other 3 battle reports. I go through the list in all of them. So uh, we'll go through Chris's though. So Chris's list. Dread Elves. He's got a Prince on Dragon who's pretty killy. Yeah, he's got a Captain on Pegasus. 1 up, 4 up. Level 2 Fire with Tome of Arcane Loss with 3 spells, which are Fireball, Smouldering Embers, Burning Ramparts. For his core, he's got 28 Corsairs with Repeater Handbows, full command. His Oracle goes in now, actually. 2 units of Crossbows. 10 Dread Knights, full command, Gleaming Icon. He likes to run those guys away from the BSB, so Gleaming Icon's quite important for that failing, that stupidity. 30 Executioners, full command Icon of the Relentless Company for the Triple March. 1 off. Altar of Nab, and 6 Harpies. Nothing in rare. Yeah, quick look at the lists. Chris is better than mine, so we'll look at Chris's. Beautiful. Lovely army. Just take a minute just to take it all in. I love that Wall Shrine. Stroke Altar of Nab, stroke Cauldron of Blood, stroke whatever the hell it is. He's made a bit of a conversion, and it's just a great centerpiece. Although, I'll be honest with you, I think I preferred it back in Warhammer Fantasy Battles 8th edition, where it actually went in the unit. I don't know if I like it wandering around on its own, but that's another story. It's still a great model. I just think it would look better inside a unit, but that's just my opinion. And his Dragon and his Pegasus are beautiful models, even though it's definitely a Griffin. Right, so deployment. So we traded off a few bits and pieces, and it ended up looking a little bit like that. Chris he split his force. I kind of went in the middle, and you'll see my greybeards are actually hung out to the left, because the reason they're out to the left is originally Chris had nothing out there but crossbows, so I thought, I'll just put the greybeards out there. In fact, I'll go to that slide now. Yeah, I'll just put the greybeards out there because that's a target there, that cauldron. I thought they'll have no bother going through those crossbows and securing that target. That's easy. But then he slammed his executioner block there. So I was like, oh, Jesus. So then I was forced to put the gunners where they are, because if Chris wants to come forward with those, executioners is gonna get a load of bullets in his face. Then I got the Dragon Seeker there just to try and slow those executioners down on the way forward, and I blimp there for some expensive chaff if need be. So that's kind of how we went. Yeah, Chris had his Dragon and his Cold Ones, or Raptors, whatever they're called now, and his Corsairs with the Wizard all the way over on his left flank, and his right flank he's got his Altar, 2 units of crossbows, his Executioners, his Harpies, and his BSB. And yep, there's my army. You know what it all is. Yeah, there's his Dragon hiding behind the Impassable. Vanguard, I Vanguard the Secret, but don't do it too far. I'm trying to keep outside of half range of his crossbows, and yeah, basically there's no real reason to go tearing headlong forward, so I'll just go 6 inches, I think. Dread Elf's turn 1, yeah, he won the roll off. I think he had like 3 drops left off the board or something, so he got +3. He won the roll off, and his left flank moves up like so. The Harpies aren't dead, they've just fallen over. He pops his banner with the Executioners. He's gone the full 15 inches or something. BSB comes up behind the Impassable. His Shrine comes up, and yeah, it looks a little something like that. Okay, so Dread Elf Magic, he gets Burning Ramparts off, and there's the dice. I don't know. Yeah, he's got Burning Ramparts off. He miscast, so I let him do it, in the hope that he actually goes in the Void turn 1. But he doesn't. But it is like the big or maybe the small template, and it kills like 6 Corsairs or something. I was quite happy to let him have Burning Ramparts because, I'll have a 4+ save against it and then 5 up ward against it. So I really wasn't that fussed, to be honest. Yeah, that's burning ramparts there on those boys. Shooting these guys, try and take out the Seeker, but managed to do nothing to him. So we go to my turn 1. So Blimp charges the BSB. If you remember in the previous game with Chris, I charged the BSB with 2 Blimps and it didn't come off. So, but I consider myself unlucky there and thought I'll do it again because at the very worst I'm just gonna hold him up for a turn. At the best I might nick a couple of wounds off if I'm lucky. So yeah, Blimp into BSB. Dragon Seeker goes up to chaff the Executioners as planned. The Greybeards actually move backwards. Blue Blimp moves alongside the back alongside the Gunners for some support for those guys. The Vengeance Seekers move up to come and intercept the BSB and the Executioners as well, because I'm worried that this flank's just going to collapse if those Executioners are just allowed to do what they want. These boys just stay still. There's no need to move just yet. I don't want to move forward and get outflanked by the cold ones, and I also don't want to turn to the left to deal with the Executioners because yeah, it'll just sweep round. There's really no need for me to move at this moment in time, so they just stay where they are. The magic phase, I get shattering on the harpies, kill 4 of them, but he passes his panic test. His BSB is just behind that rock there, so they're okay. I actually forget the secondary effect of this next turn, but I'll tell you now. In his next turn, those harpies charge my my anvil, and I forget they're actually at -1 to hit. But anyway, whatever. I think I even forget that they've got dangerous terrains, but whatever. I've killed 4 of them anyway. The shooting these boys open up on his Executioners, and we kill, what's that, 7? We kill 7, yeah. Is it enough for a panic test? Yes. No, it's not. It's not enough for a panic test, so they're okay. Combat, I charge in. I don't do any wounds, but it does look like I've got Rune of Gleaming on the Blimp, so he's only able to put 2 wounds on it. And that's just an overshot of the battlefield, I think. Okay. I'm going to Dread Elves turn 2. Yeah, there's the Harpies going into the Anvil. Like I say, I think I forgot to make him take dangerous terrains, and I definitely forget that he's at -1 to hit. Yeah, he charges the Dragon Seeker, of course. Magic. Fireballs off a Gunner. Combat, yeah, he kills the Dragon Seeker, obviously. I can't remember if I did the Death Blow. I've actually got hatred against these guys, so I probably forgot to do the Death Blow because I'm sure I would have killed one, but doesn't look like I've killed any, so I forgot my own special rule. It's my own fault. He puts another wound on the Blimp here. Not doing anything with the grinds, which is disappointing, really. Dwarven Holds turn 2. I reform to look at his cold ones, which I think have moved up around the corner. You'll see a photo of probably at the end of the phase. Actually, I didn't get a photo of his movement particularly, but yeah, he's swept up with his dragon and his cold one knight. So I've turned to face, but taken the damage and killed 3 deep watch. Dwarven Hold shooting these boys open up on the Executioners again, and we kill 7 more. This time he does pass his panic test and he's okay. Yeah, combat, he manages to finish off my Blimp, who's again, yeah, he didn't get a chance to swing there, but he hasn't put any wounds on the BSB. Combat, yeah, he does 2 2 wounds to the anvil. And yeah, there you go. Look, there's the Cold Knight sweeping around the bend, and his Corsairs are quite happy there to be looking after that objective for the time being. Yeah, there you can see there's his dragon look and his cold ones ready to charge, I think. Okay, so yeah, that's just the other side of the field. His altars coming around the back. Yeah, I don't think his crossbows have moved at all. I don't think they've got any reason to move anywhere, to be honest. It looks like my Blimp moved up in my turn, and my Seekers have moved up to intercept the Executioners as well. But I'm so bloody Yeah, I tend to get photos of my opponent's turn, but forget mine. Obviously, because I'm doing things, I forget to take photos. But that's what the end of my turn looks like anyway. We're going to Dread Elves 3. Okay, so his BSB charges into my one of my Seekers, and the Executioner's charge into the other Seeker. See how that works out for him. Bear in mind, I've got hatred against his Executioners. What he's trying to do is he's trying to kill the Vengeance Seeker with his Executioners, kill the other Vengeance Seeker with his BSB, overrun with both, and the Executioners hit into the Gunners. These boys slam into the front and side of that unit. He stood there and he considered that for a long time. Now this is the point where I thought the Potion of Strength added +3 to that guy's strength, meaning he'd be on twos to wound my king with his prince. Turned out it only turned him to strength 6. I didn't know that at the time, so I was absolutely bricking it, thinking his Dread Prince, he just go straight through my king, and not to mention strength 6 lances hitting him as well. So I was pretty nervous about that. I was confident that the Deep Watch could hold on and be steadfast, be stubborn with bodyguard, but I was worried about my king getting mauled, to be honest. Magic. I can't remember what spell it is, but it's the one where is it Burning Bolts, where it goes down. You can go rank or file. Anyway, he kills 4 of them with that spell. Shooting. He's shooting at my blue blimp, I think, but manages to do nothing. Over here, okay, he puts 2 wounds on the Seeker, and I do 1 wound to his BSB. Obviously, I'm unbreakable, so that's where we finish. Here, I must have done really badly, but he's also done pretty badly as well. So he's only caused 2 wounds to my Vengeance Seeker, but I've only killed 1 of his Executioners. But what that means is my Greybeards next turn are looking at the flank of his at the rear of his Executioners actually. So good work, Mr. Seeker. Okay, so after combat here, okay, so his Prince and his Dragon. Right, what happens is his Prince goes on my king, because his Prince is first to swing. Doesn't do any wounds on my king. My king's got a 4 rerollable against his strength 6, so doesn't do any bloody wounds. His knights then go into my unit and kill 3 of them. Kills 3 Deep Watch. My king is then next to swing. Doesn't do any wounds to his prince at all. Bearing in mind I've got hatred as well. It's just really bad roll. I think I rolled some 1s to wound. Chris took away 1 of the hit because of his shield. So 3 hits, didn't do any wounds in the end. Then my BSB, Smith, and unit go, and my throne actually. No, there's a challenge. Yeah, he's challenged with his prince, so there's a challenge between my king and his prince. So all the attacks go against each other. Nothing. Or is there a challenge? No, I think he chooses not to challenge actually. Sorry, I'm half asleep. He decides not to challenge because he wants as many attacks as he can on the king. So he goes Prince, Dragon, and basically Champion, Knight, and 2 behind on my king. Grand total of maybe 1 wound I think on the king. I don't do any wounds to his Dragon. And then my unit kills 5 of his cold ones. He wins by 1, I think, or maybe he loses. He might even lose this, because I've got 2 ranks, 2 banners, and a war banner. Yeah, I might even win that. I might even win it. But whatever happens, he sticks. He doesn't break. Right, yeah, I don't think any. I think I put a star on there, like a blast thing, but I don't think any wounds were caused in that combat. I think it was a standoff. But these bloody harpies, they've caused 2 wounds to my bloody anvil so far. I'm really scared that this anvil's gonna go down the drain. Dwarven Holds 3. Yeah, Gunner's turn to face something. Oh, it's in case his BSB kills the Seeker. Then if he wants to charge into the Gunners, then it's a stand and shoot opportunity. So that's what they've done. The Greybeards also charge into the rear of the Executioners, which we'll see in a second. Yep, like so. Blimp's gone into the front of the what are they called? Crossbowmen. Dark Elf Crossbowmen. Standard shoot doesn't do anything to them. Magic was a non-event basically. Blimp goes ahead and kills 6 on impact hits. Killed 6 dark shards or whatever they're called. He does nothing in return. He's steadfast and he holds. This is an absolute mess. Okay, so Greybeards go in with hatred and everything. They don't do that well against the executioners, to be honest. I think he had his 5+ ward from his altar, but we do beat them, well. He flees. I don't catch him, but I do make it into fresh combat into the BSB. So that BSB dead. Over here, okay. So my unit finishes off his cold ones. I don't think he's done anything to me. My king only managed to do 4 wounds. I put 2 wounds on him, multiplied 2d3. Basically, it was 4 wounds. Not enough to kill him, but it is enough to win combat. We break him and we actually run him down. So that's his. Yeah, it's a massive point swing there for the dwarves. I've got his cold ones at 300 points plus a banner, and I've got his general for 500 and something points. So I don't know what you guys think, whether Chris made a mistake there. I personally was really worried. We had a little chat about this after the game, and Chris has basically said he should have just chucked the cold ones in on their own. I'm not sure whether that would have worked either, because I think I would have just, with the king's attacks and all the units attacks and the cold ones, I'd have probably wiped the unit out completely. So I'm going to reform in his turn. So I'm not sure. Not putting the dragon in would have worked, but anyway, that's what it was. He flees, and I actually catch his dragon. It's not the next photo, but it's the photo after. You'll see where the king's unit ends up. Anvil kills off a harpy, and it flees. It doesn't rally. Ends up going off the board. Yep. So my king's unit end up there. The Greybeards and the Vengeance Seeker finish off the BSB and get a reform like so. Yeah, that's just a picture of the end of my turn 3, I think. Yeah, Dread Elves turn 4. Okay, because the blimp couldn't break those boys, the other unit of crossbows charge into the flank of the blimp. The base should be longer. I've just not using those, those green bases, so he is actually getting quite a few crossbows into combat there. They continue to flee his executions actually. Magic. A fireball kills 2 more gunners. I'm just letting him have these at this point, to be honest. But it's a miscast. Yeah, he kills 3 corsairs on a miscast. Oh, and the wizard itself's gone actually. Yeah, because if you remember, it miscast early on. I didn't show it in the photo, but in the first miscast he did, he actually put a wound on the wizard himself, or herself rather. And yeah, I let him miscast this time again because it's like maybe like a strength 5 hit or something. He doesn't have any kind of wards, so it's likely to kill it, which it does, and 3 corsairs down the drain as well. Okay, so Dread Elf combat. He actually beats my blimp. My blimp does a load of wounds on the grind to the unit that was in the front, just leaving 1, but he's got a charge, a flank, a banner, and a rank to my maybe 4 or something, 4 wounds. He's got 2 wounds as well, and I think he ends up winning by 1 or 2. I break, he stops at the impassable, but I get away basically. I live to fight another day. And yeah, that's just an overview of the other side. His corsairs again are just basically minding that counter over there. At the minute he's got the objectives. I don't have anything near the other objective over on the left. Yeah, in fact he's got both objectives as it stands. He's got the crossbowmen there and his corsairs on the other one. So I'm not in a particularly good place at this point in time. Yeah, what's happening here? This must be my turn actually. I've reformed with the king's unit and took 2 wounds from burning rampart. Greybeards have reformed. Vengeance Seeker has moved up for a charge on the crossbows next turn. The blue blimp has rallied. The gunners have turned around to face the altar, who's staring them down, like so. I actually shoot at them, but don't put any wounds on, I don't think. Magic, Rule of Metal for just letting this burning ramparts. It's not really bothering me. It's stopping him casting it on another unit, namely the Greybeards, who don't want it on there because they're going to capture the objective. He doesn't have a casting, does he? I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, I put Root. I don't know what I'm doing. Rune of Metal on the unit. Reroll armor saves. I don't know why I just didn't dispel burning ramparts, but anyway, Rune of Metal will help if anybody comes into combat, I guess. Looks like the King's actually taken 2 wounds in total, so he's on 3. Looks like the dragon may well have hurt him in the other combats. Yeah, these boys. I've got gleaming on these boys as well from the anvil. These guys shoot at the war shrine, the altar. Sorry, don't put any wounds on it. There you go. Dread Elves turn 5. He's going to charge at the marksman. I stand and shoot. I think I put 2 wounds on the stand and shoot. Yeah, he's taken 2 wounds on the way in. He tries to kill this Vengeance Seeker with shooting at close range. I think he's on like 5s, even at close range, because of the hard target rule. It doesn't do anything. His other crossbowman moves round so that I can't charge it, basically, with the blimp. Yeah, in combat, he basically breaks the steadfast of the gunners on impact hits and sheer weight of attacks and overruns into the anvil. Not good. Dwarven Holds turn 5. These boys charge the fleeing executioners who continue to flee. I take 3 wounds from burning ramparts in the process. I was kind of hoping I'd catch those executioners, to be honest, but wasn't to be. Yeah, the Greybeards. What have the Greybeards done? The Greybeards. Oh, they've just moved up to capture the objective, but further up, the Vengeance Seeker charges the crossbowman. He tries to flee to try and preserve some points, but I actually catch them and run them down. Shooting, he kills that last crossbowman for points. And yeah, that's the Vengeance Seeker there. He elected to flee with the crossbows, but I think I might roll a double 6 actually to catch him, and that's points for me. And it stops his banner contesting the thing there, the objective. Combat, yeah, he kills the anvil in combat, of course he does. Dread Elves turns. He got a reform after he killed the anvil. Dread Elf 6. He charges the rear of my Greybeards. Yeah, like so. But maybe my anvil put an extra wound on that. I think my anvil must have put a wound on his altar as well. Yeah, he's basically getting out of charge arc of my King's unit there, and his executioners have rallied. So Dread Elf combat turn 6. Yeah, I put another wound. I put a wound on him, and he does 6 wounds to me. I'm steadfast. I hold, and I get a reform. So Dwarven Holds 6 and end of game. So my King's unit. I didn't get a picture of the end of game kind of look, but these guys finish off the altar. My King's unit move up to contest the objective with the Corsairs, and these boys were 7 inches away from the objective, so they weren't quite within range. So objective is shared. It doesn't quite cause enough. Well, it doesn't cause anywhere near enough wounds to get half points for the Greybeards, but they've just managed to kill the altar, so that's another 200-point swing. So yeah, it's a victory for the dwarves. It didn't feel like it at any point in the game. Even when I killed his king, his prince, and his cold ones, it still felt like it was a really, really hard fought game. His altar just went through my gunners, and then it got my anvil. I'm just thought, Jesus, I'm just giving points up at the end of the game here. He still had his corsairs, he still had his executioners, who weren't below 25%, so I didn't get any points for those guys either. Yeah, it just didn't feel like, although it probably feels like to you guys watching it, probably felt like a big win for the dwarves, and it was a decent win for the dwarves. it could have been better had this altar not gone through Gunners and Anvil. But anyway, let's get to the points. So okay, so 15-5 to myself, and that basically won me the tournament. Um, at the time, I was obviously very pleased, but it's difficult now, 2 weeks after, to sort of get as excited about it again. So apologies if I'm not feeling, if I'm not sounding particularly excited. It is like 9:30 at night and I'm pretty knackered. But it was a great weekend. Chris was a brilliant host, great tables, great scenery, lovely painted armies. It was an absolute pleasure. Um, as you'll see in the next photograph, I even got a little trophy, which takes, well, it's got pride of place in my room with my dwarves on the shelf. Brilliant. Let's have a look at the photo. So there it is. The I think he called it the Ravelli family dragon or something like that, something daft. So I got the dragon goblet perched on top of a slab of cheese. It's safe to say my army got some serious stick over the course of the weekend. Um, in particular, that unit of gunners. Um, yeah, game one, poor old Patrick. Yeah, they just ripped him to shreds. Didn't do much in game two against Brush though. Brush dealt with them pretty well with the steam tank. He had a great answer to that. And to be honest, he didn't really do that much in game three against. No, yeah, game three against Brush. Game two against Chris, they didn't really do anything at all. Well, they killed an altar. Yeah, okay, they did. They did some good stuff. In that last game, they didn't really do too much against his executions, but they got some stick. But the real winners for me was that King's unit. Absolutely brilliant. They just don't die. They, yeah, they don't die. Um, so yeah, that list got a fair amount of stick. I like the blimps. The blimps are brilliant. I think my rare choice is pretty solid there. Anvil, two seekers, and two blimps. I think that's a pretty solid choice. The only thing, well, I changed a few little pieces in the next coming battle reports that you'll see, the few games I played since this. I'd take the Dragon Seeker out and replace him with 6 ordinary Seekers skirmished. I mess around with the Runesmith's armor because he doesn't need to up save. He's hiding in the second rank, so he's basically saves 20 points. Yeah, to make room for the Seekers basically, because I think unbreakable 6 wounds is better than unbreakable 2 wounds. So and with skirmish, it's not as easy to kill with shooting. So yeah, I do that. But apart from that, the list pretty much stays the same because why change a winning formula? It tends to work. Certainly playing this list better than I have done the other lists that you've seen me play. This definitely suits my style, and I'll be honest, it's just a very easy list to play. You stick the gunners down, they shoot some stuff up. You can put the King's unit anywhere. You can be so sloppy with that unit because it just doesn't die. It just doesn't die. Nobody's had an answer to it yet. Well, actually, you'll see a report. No, I didn't report it. Yeah, okay, I'll tell you. I play against Chris Legg, I think it's England ETC sort of captain, I think he is, or certainly player, or whatever. He brings his Kingdom of Equitaine. I didn't record it because well, his army wasn't painted. Basically, it wouldn't have made a particularly good battle report. But he used his trebuchets to great effect. In the first turn, he hit with both of them, and half of that unit of Deep Watch was gone. That's the obvious thing to do, is just to shoot them to death before they can get into combat. So yeah, he's the only person who's had an answer to it so far. Yeah, anyway, I won't blabber on and give too many spoilers away, but safe to say this list will be sticking around until I get bored of it. I'm taking it to there's a tournament at Manchester which you should try and get to, guys, if you can. Any UK viewers who've got nothing to do on the weekend of the 4th and 5th of November, you should definitely buy a ticket for I think it's called Breakthrough. It's at NWGC in Manchester. Decent event. Oh, it's going to be a decent event. It's a Team England event. Run by the Team England ETC guys, Mike Newman and co. Get yourselves a ticket bought if you're free. It'd be a good event, fully painted, 2,500 point, 9th age lists. They've just decided today actually to use the current rule set, which is like 1.10, I think, as opposed to 1.20, which is due to come out on the 25th of October. So yeah, it's going to be current rule set as of now. It's the 10th of October today. As of now. So yeah, if you fancy that, get yourself to NWGC, get a ticket bought at Element Games, and hopefully see you there. I'll be taking pretty much this list with the changes that I've said, the Seekers instead of the Dragon Seeker. Anyway, that's enough waffling. I'm tired. I'm going to bed. Catch you guys later. See you later. Bye bye.